All right, peace, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, give honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Give a double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. Give a double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has woken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. All right, brothers and sisters, what I want to do is I want to talk about a town, I guess a town meeting out here in Chicago that was held with some of the representatives of the so-called black community. And I think the head of the situation was Johnathan Jackson, which, to his credit, uh, as the platform that's behind him was like a big screen, and he was showing the history of the people over there in quote unquote South America and how their country has been destabilized by America, right? And also, he pointed out the fact that the Venezuelan people, they have a lot of natural resources in the ground, but they're not able to use it. And as a result of this, their country is in shambles, right? Because America has um, collapsed their economical system. And then another thing too is another reason why the people are allowed to come over here and they're not going to tell you this, but another reason why they're coming over here is because so-called black people are not voting at a large amount. So the Democrats, they have sicked the the immigrants on the so-called black community. And see, it's nothing wrong with the people coming over here, right? But I think what we're having a problem with is that why are the people being strategically placed in our communities and things of this nature? So what I want to do is I want to play a video and I'm going to give my commentary on it, and I may go through some scriptures and things of this nature. But I think it was a very good discussion, right? But before we go into this is fair use. I'm not trying to seek any monetary gain from the video that I'm going to play. This is strictly for educational purposes. So let's look at the video, then I'm going to expound on it.
So what happens 10 years later? Our population is shrinking. We have more walkers than strollers because they closed the elementary schools. Let me start. NPR report.
Now, like I said, I can't play the whole video, but he was saying that our our population is shrinking. But one of the reasons why the population is shrinking in this time is because black men and black women are not really coming together and developing what you would call a relationship or marriage or whatever you want to call it, and they're not reproducing. See, they're not because we're being taught that having kids is pretty much a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Either you got to go get an education or you working and things of this nature. So they have swayed a lot of our people away from getting married and having kids and things of this nature. See, a lot of people today, they have what you would call uh, they may be grown, but a lot of them have the capacity of a 14-year-old. See, but let's look at this video.
From August of last year to December of this year, they will spend $252 million on the migrants. $252 million. 17,000 migrants come into this city. And just in Chicago. If we just break that in half and they become families, you got 8,500 families. Hispanics have 3.5 children. I'm submitting to you, in one generation, just one generation, the black vote will be null. They will have an additional 24,000 people on the voting rolls, along with the Hispanic population.
Now, he's looking at this, the people coming over to the community as what you would call people that's going to remove them out of the equation, right? But look at his talking points, though. He sounds just like the Caucasians when they didn't want black folks in their communities. See? The same talking point that he's using is the same talking point that Caucasians back then and even to this day. They don't want to live next to you because they look at you as a threat, right? So he's doing that. He's doing the same man. The same. He's doing the same mindset that the Caucasian has took on, right? To be a racist and a bigot. He's doing the same thing, right? It's because our people was brought over here as slaves, which is his people also. And we was heavily discriminated against. And then he talks about all this money that they're going to receive and things of this nature. First of all, you have to give them a certain amount of money, is because how are they going to be able to take care of themselves? How are they going to be able to do this? So we're looking at a so-called black man that has taken on the mindset of his slave master. Talking like that, there's no compassion in his heart for these people. These people, a lot of them don't want to be here. They're here is because their country is in shambles. That's why they're here. If they could go back to Venezuela, you better believe they're going to go back. It's because home is where the heart is at. Let's continue.
Already here. They're playing chess, and you all are playing checkers. You are damning our youth, our next generation, to poverty by you all doing these political speeches. One generation, our youth, our vote will be null in all of these 6 sanctuary cities. And what are you going to do about that?
But see, here's the thing about this. What make this brother hypocritical is because, well, why do you say that, Yashua? Before the Venezuelans get here, so-called black people was not doing nothing in their communities. We're not coming together as a nation of people, and we're not having kids. See, and then when we having kids, we're having kids in broken household, right? The mother is there, but the father ain't. Either he's in prison, or they just don't get along, or he may be dead, right? Look at a lot of the grants and the opportunities that we had before the Venezuelans came over here, and what did we do with the money? We squandered it. Because one of the reasons why we squandered the money is because there's no cohesiveness amongst our people. See, when this brother see me a lot of times black folks look at other black people as their enemy. See, let's look at a scripture. Let's turn to the book of Deuteronomy, uh, 28, and I'm gonna read verses 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. See, and this is the mindset of our people. See, we spend billions of dollars in our communities a year. And here it is, we can't pull this money together uh, as a unit of people. But the reason why, but let me say this, we're not even a unit of people because we're the only group of people on the face of this planet that don't even know their nationality, right? So how can we come together with some type of cohesiveness when we have an evil eye towards one another? Let's look at this. It says, so that the tender man that is delicate among you and very tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother and towards his wife of his bosom. See, and that's what's going on with us today. The man and the woman is not together. See, we're not together. Even when we get married with one another, we're not even on the same page. So when you have a lack of knowledge, instead of us coming to each other and pulling our resources together and putting a lot of the differences to the side, see, that we may have with one another, we can't do that. We it's because we're not together as a people. And as a result of this, what's taking place? We're begging people to do things for us that we should be doing for ourselves. Because Johnathan Jackson, um, which is a politician, so-called black politician, but see, he's a white supremacist himself. Why do you say that, Yahshua? It's because he's a talking point for the so-called white man. That's why. See, they bring people like Johnathan Jackson and all these politicians out to the community to do what? Uh, to keep our people in a docile spirit, see, or discombobulated. See, this guy sitting up here talking about send these people back to their countries and things of this nature, but here it is. Where's the compassion? It's because the reason why they here is not because they want to be here. The reason why they here is because their country is destroyed. See? Right? But we don't care. See, we looking at these people, he's equating the Venezuelans like cockroaches or rats and things in this day. So you get a rat or mice in the house, you gotta hurry up, get him out of there because he gonna start breeding. See, and they have so many kids. This is what he's equating these people to. But before these people get over here, we was already disenfranchised with each other. We got a lot. We took advantage of the system just as much as anybody in this country, and we have nothing to show for it. We don't control our educational system. We don't control the leadership, the health, or the economics. We don't control that. So until we start to control certain things in the community from a righteous standpoint of view, then we will be able to get certain things done. Dr. Claude Anderson made a good point about us on how our inability to come together as a nation of people is the reason why we're suffering. Like, this is one of the reasons why we're suffering. is because when we see each other as enemies, right? But let's look at another scripture. Let's turn to the book of Hosea, the 4th chapter, 4 and 6. I want to make a good point. The book of Hosea, 4 and 6. See if I can find this, man. The book of Hosea, or Hosea, the 4 and 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge." And what is some of the destruction that our people is dealing with today? Our people have a void of understanding because they don't know who they are. See? They don't know their nationality. They don't know nothing. And we're sitting down begging people to do things that is our responsibility as a group or a nation of people to do amongst each other. See, we live in a different type of mentality, a different type of age today, right? What's wrong with us pulling our resources together and creating construction companies amongst each other? The reason why we can't do these things is because we have an evil eye towards one another. The man hate the woman, and the woman hate the man, and the kids hate both the parents. See? But let's continue with the video, and I'm going to chime in. And see, another thing, too, I don't know if I said this or not. Maybe I did, but I'm going to say it again. The same talking points that he's using to say about these people having a lot of kids and how they gonna basically outbreed us, right? This is the same talking points of the Caucasian. This is what he said when we was free in 1865. See, they didn't have a problem with us breeding and having all those kids when we had shackles on our necks. It started to be a problem once they released the shackles. See, that's when it started to be a problem. Now we can't stay in the same neighborhood with these folks. But when we was in chains and we was up under servitude, it was okay. See, we could be in the household with the people, right? We could raise their kids and stuff like that because why? We were subservient to these folks, right? So the same mindset that they had is the same mindset that he has. That's why it says that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. We should have some type of compassion for these folks because of the simple fact that we was brought over here, we was kidnapped, and we was brought here to endure slavery. And with us enduring slavery, we had a lot of hardships. We had rapes, incest, all this type of. We dealt with a lot of things in this country, killings, right? And I'm not saying that everybody from Venezuela is some good people, because you probably do got people that sprinkled here and there, right? But what I get from this conversation is we see people that's disgruntled and they mad because they can't have certain grants and certain things that other people are taking advantage of. But brothers and sisters, we still get certain things in this country. And you know what we do with it? We BS it around. That's what we do. We don't control the educational system. We don't control anything. So how's this brother gonna sit back and criticize Johnathan Jackson because Johnathan Jackson. See, here's another thing too. We look at these people and we think that these people are quote unquote people of power. They have power, but they exercising all their power from who? From the beast, see? Which is the slave master. So everything that he's talking about up there, he better be talking about something that's in line with the agenda of the Caucasians, is because if he say something that's outside of the situation, he's going to be, they're going to excommunicate this guy. See? What's that? Excommunicado. You know, they going to get him up out of there. Right? But if we start to trust each other, then we will be able to start with the process of start to build our own communities up. This is, see, a lot of us, we're not together. You got brothers and sisters that stay in the suburbs. You got people, our people that stay in the ghettos, all this type of stuff. But we can't even put no bread together as a nation of people and start the process of feeding and educating our people. So this was just a short video that I wanted to go over and discuss. I hope you got something out of it. Shalom.